Hello, and welcome to the Meeting Your Soul Masterclass with me, Farah. I am actually a certified Dharma and mental health coach. My degree is in psychology, so I have extensive background working with different people, pursuing their goals, but from a more holistic and wellness standpoint. I am also a certified yoga teacher and have been teaching for the last 10 years. I actually just finished a class. That's when my hair's up in a little bun. I taught a class earlier today. I teach up in Seattle, Washington at Hot Yoga Queen Anne and Chef Yoga Roosevelt, places that I've practiced and been involved with the community there for over 10 years. It's kind of insane to think about that it's been that long, but it truly makes my soul so happy. And it's just such a beautiful family of teachers and instructors and just all around space for people to heal and to really be with their bodies and with their breath, which I feel is one of those things that we really lose sight of. And it's not as important. And it's not really emphasized within our culture as a whole. And that's why I've dedicated so much of my time and energy into creating this space and learning these healing modalities to be able to share them with others. And so I want to dive into today's masterclass, but I wanted to give you a little background of where I came from and why I find this so important. So I have worked in corporate America for years, have suffered from pretty extreme burnout, to the point to where I was under such immense stress that I was having panic attacks, struggling with depression, anxiety, all of those things were really affecting me, negatively affecting me to say the least. And I got to a point where I got really fed up. And honestly, I started having a lot of physical ailments that started to appear because of everything that was going on. And I knew in my heart that if I adjusted my life to what I was truly meant to do, that I wouldn't be experiencing this. And I had faith that if I really trusted myself and I trusted my intuition, that it would lead me in the direction of true fulfillment and from a place of joy, not just from happiness, because it's fleeting. You know, we always have the spectrum of emotions. But if I could connect to myself on a more intimate level, that I would be able to guide my life in that direction and hopefully be able to serve and give back to my community at the same time. So that is why I've pursued this career path and also why I really strive to support others that are exploring this for themselves so that they can have a listening ear, so they can have someone that's really going to hear them out and recognize that they're not alone, that they're not doing this, and to have a sounding board and hopefully to create structure and to provide techniques and guidance for them to be more successful and hopefully not fall as in a many as in many potholes as I have in my life. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Thanks for being interested in the topic. And I'm excited to dive right in. Just so you know, I'm gonna be a little goofy. I'm probably gonna say some really random stuff that just comes through me. I can't help it. Um, but at the end of the day, I just really want us to be able to talk about heavy things, talk about these concepts that are kind of complex and can honestly create a lot of self-reflection. A lot of emotions may come up to the surface from a more playful stance because we're all in this work, we're all doing this. And so it's important to be able to like recognize that and to be able to have a little bit of joy in the process. And that's definitely what we're going to talk about today. This masterclass is actually directed towards incorporating more joy within your life. So it's an opportunity to be able to really consider, okay, what am I doing? Where's that balance within my life? And how can I create more of it? And I would love to be able to hear everyone's thoughts on this. So feel free to chime in the comment section on just kind of what you're going through, what's been coming up for you, and any kind of insight that pulls from this as well. I know that this is something that isn't, like I said, always talked about. So I really want to be able to give people the opportunity to be able to reconsider what's coming up for them in the most supportive and loving way possible. So I am going to dive in, but if you have any questions or if anything comes up, or if you're watching the recording of this and you're like, hey, I kind of want to talk about this a little bit more. I've thought about this, but this is now appearing for me. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Reach out. I am sincerely here. I'm sincerely happy to help. And I honestly am so passionate about this. This is really important to me. And I think it's something that needs to be talked about more, is really this opportunity to connect with yourself on a soul level and to hopefully be able to find those fun magnets and the things that help bring joy and balance within your life to counter all of the stress that we're experiencing. One other thing that I just want to note that I didn't talk about before is that so my background is actually in mental health. So I have my degree in psychology. I've worked in domestic violence situations, in sexual assault as an advocate. I used to actually go to hospitals and meet sexual assault victims and kind of be an advocate for them through that process and really hold space for them. And outside of that, I've also had the opportunity to work at crisis clinic at Teen Link, which was specifically geared towards suicide prevention. So I've been in the real depths, and holding space is something that I'm really passionate about, because I think that we need to have more opportunities to be able to be in all of our ness from a place of acceptance and from a place of safety instead of a place of judgment and fear. Because I think ultimately that's what's really holding us back from more authentic connections with ourselves and with the people around us, is because we're afraid of the result or how they may respond to us. And I don't know why this is going to make me cry, but I do think that it's really important to be who you are and all of who you are, and know that I am here to hold space for you and whatever that means. Okay? So with that being said, I know I'm gonna like cry and then I'll start like laughing and crack a joke 3 minutes later. That's kind of how it rolls around these parts. But I want to keep it real. I'm always going to be myself, and I really do encourage all of you to be able to do the same. So let's go ahead and start by just talking about what the pie of life actually is. And if you want to watch a recent podcast that I just did on this particular topic, find me on YouTube, find me on Spotify, Apple, pretty much anywhere that streams podcasts. You can find Meeting Your Soul. It's me, it's my pod. And then this one is the most recent one, and it's called Pie of Life. And so it'll go in more depth into this, but I actually wanted to make this more interactive so that you could actually go along with it and I could guide you through it in a more extensive format, instead of just kind of giving you the overview and more hypotheticals. Okay. So first things first, grab a piece of paper, and then create like a blank sheet of paper, and then grab a pen as well. So if you don't already have those things, go ahead and grab it. Hopefully they're not too far away, and I'll give you a few moments to do that. And for those of you that have a piece of paper that's already nearby, go ahead and prep it out. And if you have it in a journal, I personally love to do this in a journal. Maybe I'll even write it out myself, just so that you guys can see it, just because I like to be able to reflect back on it, and to just consider kind of what's coming up for me. And then that way I'm more likely to look at it. We'll talk more about goals later. That I'm, of course I get a pen, it doesn't work. There we go. Check to make sure your pen works. That's okay. I know I have like a whole thing of them too, and I didn't bring them out here because I was like, I'll just set up. I have my pen and paper here. Anywho, so then you're going to split up. Okay, so hopefully you have your pen and paper now, and you are going to create a big circle in the center. Don't mind me. Oh my goodness. So happy you guys are here. I'm so happy to be doing this. And once you create that circle, we're gonna split it evenly into sections. And that's the most important part, is that it's all even sections. Okay. And then from there we'll go deeper. But then we'll split up that pie into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections. Okay. So you kind of have that first line down the center, break it off, cross down, boop, boop, boop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Make sure you get your 5 sections. And then we're going to go into, and then I want you to label them on the outskirts of the circle. Okay. So on the top left corner, we'll start there and then we'll move our way around. That one will be social. The next one will be financial. Then the next one will be family. Next one will be career. Next one will be personal growth. I've done this quite a few times. It's always interesting, and it changes all the time too. So even doing this now doesn't mean you won't be able to do it again. Next one will be physical. And then the last one will be spiritual. Okay. And you know what? Let me just pull this up. I'm going to do a quick screen share so that you can see what it looks like. So hopefully it is easy for you to be able to identify. And then that way, if you haven't seen it before, This will make it a little bit more obvious. Okay, I'm opening up this one, but then it changes the view, and I like the categories that we created, so I don't want to do that. Un moment here. Un momento. I don't speak Spanish, but I do like to. The little I do know, I like to speak. Okay. Screw it. We're going to do it this way, okay? So let's go ahead and share. All right. So then you see, this is the one that I like the most. All right. So you'll see right in this corner here, don't mind all my boxes things up. This is the one I like the most. So pie of life. You'll see financial, family, career, personal growth, physical, spiritual, and social. They put them inside of the pie. This is by Kim Hall, but I personally like to put them right here along the outside of it so that we're going to fill this in. Okay. So, but I just wanted to give you a general idea of what it could look like. And then the categories that you choose. But if you see here, they're also sometimes split up semi-differently or labeled differently. So honestly, it's completely up to you. Physical, environment, work, fun and recreation, friends and family, money, significant others. Like you see, it's pretty much the same thing. I just like the way these categories work out. But if something else resonates with you in a particular word, feel free. Feel free to change it. Okay. All right. So now we will go. So now what I want you to do is I want you to fill up each little area as high as you feel satisfied with it. Okay. So if you don't feel very satisfied in something, keep it kind of low. Keep it low. If you do feel satisfied, if it's filled all the way up, you're like, hell yeah, I've been rocking it. I've been crushing on this area. I've been working on this a lot. This is something that's really important to me. And I've really been diving into it. I've been putting all of my effort and time into this, or a significant amount of effort and time into this. And I'm feeling really solid about it. Okay. And I'm telling you, feel good about those moments because this is important too. I think this is hard. So this is where the truth comes out. Okay. So there's going to be moments where you're looking at this and you're like, damn, I am struggling in this area, or this is not I'm so insecure about it. That's okay. That is okay. You are not the only one. We all have different areas and life ebbs and flows. Okay. There's phases at different times where some things are really going to be strong while others aren't. And there's no judgment. This is a safe container for you to be able to just explore this. But at the end of the day, you got to keep it real with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself about what's really coming up. Like, what is the truth of it all, because if you're not ever evaluating, if you're not ever assessing what's going on in your life, then it's really hard to make adjustments and changes in order to improve it. And that's why I think it's so important to be able to do these types of exercises and to really reflect on them so that you can take a real strategic and like conscious choice in what you're doing within your life. Like not willy-nilly just doing whatever. It's like, what really does, like, where am I lacking? Where do I need to shift some more attention? Where do I need to shift more time and energy? And there's going to be obvious. Okay. So go through, fill in the little things, social's been all right. I'm a social butterfly, so I've been taking it easy lately, even though I do still do things every once in a while, but that one's not as high as it once was. Spiritual, on flake. Oh, it's like I'm just gonna do this with you guys. Spiritually, we're all synced up. I've been real synced up for the last couple years. I've been extremely grateful for that. I'm gonna cry again. But that's because there was years within my life where I feel like that was not the case. And it's ebbed and flow. There was like a highlight of my spiritual path, probably when I was in my like mid-20s. And that's where I really found my first like spiritual awakening, where I really delved into the power of the mind, read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, read Bhagavad Gita. And then I went through yoga teacher training and I just immersed myself. I literally felt like I was in cloud nine and I was really just like taking all of it and I was soaking up every single moment that I could. And my mind was constantly being just like blown out of the water of what was possible and what I realized what was really holding me back. So, and what were the exercises and rituals and things I could do in order to incorporate more of that? Okay. So those, and then I lost it. So then I was at a high. And then, I started focusing on career, family, like, my social life, everything else just pulled me away from it. And then I lost that connection to self. And I was severely depressed. Actually, at that point, I was severely depressed. And spiritual connection to me is just my non-negotiable. It's something that I have to do on a regular basis in order to feel fulfilled and complete. And I think we all need it in a certain way. But I recognize I think I actually require a little bit more than most because of how the depth of what I feel and yes, who I am. So that one has been high for me, and thankfully in the last little while. This one is physical. I've been pretty physical. I wasn't as good as I've been the last couple years, but I'm still feeling pretty good. I got constant movement going on. I've been doing walks still, not as many walks as I used to when I lived in Seattle, but I'm still walking. I'm actually practicing more yoga. I'm actually going to classes more because when I go up to teach, I'll actually take class, which has been nice. Personal growth, I'm always reflecting. That one's right there in the middle. We're working on it. Bitch is working. Bitch is reflecting on a rug. I might be able to do a little bit more, but I'm in there. Don't mind me. I say bitch in the most affectionate, loving way possible. I feel no qualms with, and I won't obviously call any of you guys that, but no, I don't mind that. All right, and then career. Career's a little in flux right now, guys. I'm transitioning more into coaching and more into this. I've been full-time real estate agent entrepreneur for the last 6 years. And so I'm switching more into this realm. And so that has been a little uncertainty and it's been a little rocky to kind of find my footing and to just create the smoothness and the streamlined process that I've been experiencing the last couple of years. So that one's a little bit lower, but we're doing all right. Family's been really good. I've been really grateful. I love my family. I've been really close with everybody. I have a daughter. She's been fantastic. We've just been and I feel like I'm spending more time with my family now that I moved back to Tacoma, moved back to my hometown. I've just been able to see people more and do kind of one-on-one stuff, which has been really nice. Finances, am I doing okay? They're not doing great, but it is what it is. So we're gonna be honest about that one. Let's fill that one in here too. Real estate's not what it was, and I'm also in career transition, so it's just the reality of it. All right. This is how I fill out my circle, my pie of life. Hopefully you're not too distracted by my commentary. Take a few moments, complete, and fill out the rest on your own. And we'll take some time here. I'm actually going to turn on a little bit of music. I'll give you 5 minutes to just finish filling that in. And actually taking little notes or even next to this pie on another sheet of paper or even just on the backside or around the circle, just writing little notes, things that you feel like would kind of jump out at you, stuff that you're like little like words of insight that come to you as you are just kind of walking through this. And I think sometimes it's easy for us to just breeze through it and be like, oh, no big deal, like that's fine, like nothing's going on here, or it's not that big of a deal. But I do think being able to be real with yourself is important because then you can really just see what insight comes through. So I'm going to give you 4 minutes. Perfect. 1 minute to wrap everything. Finishing thoughts, keywords that you can reflect back on this. I'm going to use this in the next couple moments. All right. So give yourself a moment to just one, give yourself a pat on the back for doing this. A lot of people spend their entire lives in autopilot. They don't even take the time to reflect on these things. So taking in an opportunity to just go within, to be able to be real with yourself about where you are within these different areas can feel kind of heavy. That's why I brought it up, like that no judgment thing. And ultimately this was designed by Paul J. Meyer in the 1960s as an opportunity to realize your goals and to transform your mindset to achieve them. So, and I've been talking a lot about this, but using it as a catalyst for inspiration to be able to recognize the things that you're working towards, that you're striving towards, that's important to you, and that you can actually create achievable goals to be able to make systemic and sustainable shifts within what you do and how you live. And it's incredibly important. And I hope that you give yourself a nod in order for even going down this road and considering it and being open to explore this with me. So thank you. With that, taking a few moments to kind of even think of what are some areas that, what's probably two areas you've been crushing it. Okay, we're gonna start with crushing. So where are 2 areas you've been crushing it? Like you've been like, oh, that one is filled up. It's so weird. It's okay. I was like, but filled up, you're feeling positive about it, and even thinking about mine, like spiritual and family and like personal growth. Like, hell yeah. Like the things that really fill me up, real connection, genuine relationships with myself and with others, to be able to build up my community, to create real change within the world around me from a heart-centered place. Hell yeah, I'm so thankful for that. I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of myself for being able to do that. I was in somewhat seclusion for the last couple of years when I went through some personal things. Actually, and so during that time, I just really had to like retreat within to be able to mend my own heart. And I didn't really have the capacity to necessarily show up for others in that way. And I'm a giver, so that was really hard for me. But then that's when, financial, career, and physical was actually, and personal growth was like my all-time high, because I was going within, I was really reflecting, focusing on my physical health, because it had drastically decreased and declined to the point to where I was ill, sincerely ill. And like my hair was falling out, like my nervous system was fried. So like I had to take some time to regroup. And I would say I was pretty spiritual at that point too, but I was navigating that path and getting it more grounded in the pursuit of that. So, and then there was a time where like last year I'd say was my most social, and just like physical health was on like point, and I was spending like, and spiritual was still going, and then like my career was, I was coasting, but things were thriving still. So again, this always is fluctuating, and let's be kind to ourselves as we kind of explore that. And that's why I want to start with like, where are you doing well? How have you been living your life? Where have you been focused? Where have you been diligent? And hopefully be able to give yourself some reassurance that you've done well in those areas too. Okay. Now, it's a little more difficult part. What are 2 areas of growth? 2 areas of growth, okay? Love yourself as you look at this. Love yourself. Okay. 2 areas that you probably need to grow the most. Where do you need to focus the most attention? Right? Two areas. Reflecting your little thing. Ooh, mine. Ooh, I got to focus on my new career, the finances to support it. Bah humbug. So that's how I feel about mine. Also, I've never been very money motivated. It's just not what directs my attention. It's not what I direct. That's not why I do what I do. Um, so it's really hard for me to prioritize it. But life is life, such as life. You got to do it. It's important. You got to make it happen. You got to pay your bills, right? But can you pay your bills? Which I'm striving to do is, can I pay my bills while also inspiring others, while also building up my community, while also creating a safe and harmonious place for myself and the other people around me to live in a larger scale, even, being that miracle for others, being that catalyst for others to be able to know who they are and to trust themselves more, through sharing my own story and my own experience. So that's why I do what I do. So career for me and finances. So from that, we're going to create SMART goals. Okay. If you, hopefully you're not absolutely sick of me at this point. I was joking. It's okay. Will go in. So we're going to create SMART goals. If you have never heard of SMART goals, they're actually, I believe they were discovered by the Harvard Business School, and they were an attempt to make goals parameters to be able to make goals more achievable, to be able to allow you to actually define what it's going to be effective, because I want to make X amount of dollars is great. That's specific, but is it achievable? Is it time bound? Is it relevant? How are you going to do that? How do we break that down and actually get more specific within that, even that category? So that is why I wanted to talk about SMART goals, and we're gonna pick one to do first. So I will focus on finances, and then SMART goals. So just so you guys break down, if you've never heard of SMART goals stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So defining these parameters pertain to your goals helps ensure that your objective is attainable within a certain time frame. And that's clear expectations for how you're going to move forward. So think of one of those categories, and then let's start with S, specific. What needs to be accomplished, who's responsible for it, and what steps need to be taken in order to achieve it. And that's the key part. I am a very systemized person. It's just how my mind works. I am very methodical. I like to have a very concrete plan of how I'm doing something. And it gives me peace. It gives me reassurance. It makes me feel calm. So I would encourage you to be very specific within this. So whatever your goal is, think about, what ultimately are you trying to accomplish? Okay. What would give you more satisfaction within this particular area? Is it making X amount of dollars? Is it, or is it spending more time with friends and family? If you're working on family, building more family. If it's spiritual, is it an opportunity for you to create a meditation practice, or maybe to start reading spiritual texts that inspire you and make you feel more aligned with your heart and within the consciousness that resides within you? Is it physical? Are you trying to work on your personal health? Do you want to start exercising more? Do you want to be more conscious of what you're eating and what you're putting into your body? Is it personal growth? Do you want to take more time to self-reflection? Do you want to do more activities like this? Is this an opportunity for you to be very intentional about how you're spending your time and how you're showing up for yourself? Lots of areas here. Think about what the goal is specifically, what you're trying to achieve. That's the overarching. Okay. And then who's responsible for it? Probably yourself in this way. And then what are the steps needed in order to achieve it? And that part might take a little bit longer than what we have time for within this workshop, but break down 3 steps, 3 concrete steps that you know within your heart, without even having to really think about it, 3 steps that you need in order to achieve it. And within mine, having a certain amount of coaching clients required, teaching a certain amount of yoga classes, and really breaking down those numbers for me is what I need to do in order to be able to be really clear about what I'm creating and what I'm manifesting. And I think that's what I love about SMART goals. And if you believe in manifestation and creating a reality and also putting out the vibration of what you're trying to attract, I think that there's a lot of woo-woo that goes along with that, and that's why I get lost sometimes. But if you make it very concrete and actually very organized, it's like you're just directing your energy and time into what you're trying to manifest within your life. And you're being very specific about how you do that. And you're being very methodical about how you approach it. You know, miracles occur when someone's prepared, when you've already moved through all of the notions that were needed in order for that thing to arrive to you in the time where you're truly prepared to receive it. It's not going to just float out of thin air. And it's not going to be you just not doing anything and just expect it to land in your lap. And that's not me trying to be harsh, but I think there's some reality that has to set in. You have to take inspired action. And the inspired action is what I want you to focus on within your 3 steps. So, what are 3 inspired action steps you can take in order to work towards this specific goal? Okay. And if that's reaching out to family on a regular basis, maybe setting up a weekly call with your family members or someone, a best friend of yours that you want to touch base with and kind of build and foster a stronger relationship with. Is it, dedicating 3 days a week where you're going to go to an exercise class that you really enjoy? Try to choose something you enjoy. It's always better. If you're going to Atomic Habits, if you have a pleasurable result, it is much more likely that you'll do it. If you've never heard of Atomic Habits, it's a fantastic book. It's one of my favorites. I actually use habit stacking and a bunch of things like that within my coaching sessions because they've been really effective for me. But removing obstacles, as many obstacles as you can in order for you to change your habits, is going to be very effective. Okay, so just know that. So break down your 3 inspired action steps. Think about things that you enjoy, things that will entice you to continue on, and that will also leave you feeling inspired, that will leave you feeling good from the inside out as you move towards this larger goal. Okay, then we're going to, I'm going to turn some music while we're doing this because why not? I'll keep it low so it won't be too loud. Then we are going to go into M for measurable. So specificity is a solid start, but now we need to quantify the goal. So we need to be something that's measurable. So I know that's this expired action, right? So if you think about those 3 steps that you're going to take, how can you measure? How can you measure something that kind of reinforces that you're doing the damn thing, right? Like it's not like you're just willy-nilly out there, like, and it gives us some positive, like, reinforcement that we're headed in the right direction, even if we haven't ultimately hit that bigger goal that we're striving towards. Okay, so I want you to think of measurable things. So if it's me meeting with 3 potential clients each week, to be able to host more of these master classes, maybe it's you to say, I'm going to work out 3 days a week, or I'm going to go on a walk. I'm going to start walking twice a week for X amount of time, or even a certain distance. Maybe it's I'm going to journal 3 days a week to be able to have that self-reflection, to be able to go within, to be able to continue build that relationship with who you are and who you're becoming. Maybe it's social. Maybe it's I'm going to go on one date each week, or I'm going to spend time with my girlfriends or your friends or someone that you love once a week, because, or even more than that, but having very intentional, measurable goal, like parameters around that. Okay. And then make it achievable. Like give yourself a real reality check. Like I'm going to spend 5 days a week. I'm going to work out every night and I'm going to like balls to the wall. I'm going to do 3 classes a day. Like, chill, bro. Okay. And that's not because I'm saying you can't do it, but it's because I want you to think about what you could actually do and how you can make it happen so that it's not overwhelming. So that if you don't do it, then you just feel like a piece of shit. No, you're never a piece of shit. Don't think that about yourself. You're a piece of shit. But just reflect, try not to make it too lofty that it's unattainable, because then it's just going to break you down. It's going to make you feel less inspired. It's going to make you feel discouraged, and it's really going to be counterproductive. Okay. And then make sure they're relevant. Think about the big picture. Why are you setting these goals up? Why are you taking this inspired action? Why are you doing this? Why is this important to you? What's your why? Simon Sinek, one of my favorite authors. If you haven't read Start With Your Why, it is such a great book. And it really comes back to purpose. It really comes back to why are you doing what you're doing? Because that's what keeps us going. And, finding your purpose, finding my purpose and being able to support others was so important to me and was something that I was absolutely adamant. So that was something that I really strive for because I knew that it was important and I wanted to be able to pursue it. Sorry, I just wanted to give a heads up that if you hear noise, is probably my dog. So yeah, if you can. Okay, sorry, don't mind me. Don't mind me. Okay, I'm doing this at my house. Welcome to my home. But so we're going to make sure that it is relevant. So why are you doing this? Why is this important? Connecting to your purpose. What is the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing? Like, why is this important? Why is this like something that you're even putting the time and energy to? Is it working towards your bigger purpose, your bigger picture of who you are within this world and how you get closer to it? Okay. And if you're interested in exploring what your Dharma is, your Dharma archetype, kind of these like more theoretical perspectives on why you've arrived on this earth and why it's important for you to show up in your most authentic way. That is my cup of tea. So I'm happy to even just start the conversation about it. Let me know. I sincerely love this and think it's so important. Okay. And then the last piece of SMART goals is time bound. This is something that comes up. So you can talk about these more like weekly or daily like objectives that you have, but I would encourage you to set this up for 3 months. Okay. 90-day goals are far more effective on creating sustainability. You do something for 3 months, even, or if you want to just do it for a month to try it out and they can adjust from there, that's cool too. 21 to 30 days is what has been scientifically proven, psychologically based, to be able to create new habits that stick. But if you want to do 3 months, you guaranteed, like that's going to be solid. You will make it happen and you will be able to continue on. So up to you on how you approach that, but either way, you should be good. But I would say maybe start with a month, adjust, reevaluate, and then move up to 3 months, and then continue on and just kind of see how you need to kind of adjust whatever you've been doing and tweak it a little bit so that you feel like it's really aiding you and moving you in the right direction. Okay, so that's one of your goals. If you want to go ahead and just like review your goals and see how those have come up for you, go for it now. I will give you 5 minutes to kind of fill this in and just take a little more time. Okay. Now I am gonna turn down the music, but I'm gonna keep it going. Just a little quieter. Okay, so even if you have not finished your goal setting, you have a general idea, but when you have your two goals, write them out, post them somewhere you can look at them. Okay? Because if you don't remember them, probably not gonna do them. Put my little hair. Do you like this little guy that's up here? But truly, okay? Write them out, look at it, because it is far more effective for it to be top of mind, and it's going to constantly remind you to move towards it. And again, that's why they need to be achievable, and that's why they need to be measurable. And that's like all of these things are going to keep you on track because you deserve to have a well-balanced life. You deserve to have all the things that you desire. Like you deserve to have the life that truly means what, like contentment to you. Okay. And the only person that's ever going to put a ceiling on you truly is yourself. So recognizing that, removing that ceiling and being able to blast through that to create a life that you truly love is possible if you, but you sometimes have to make those adjustments. You have to make those fine tweaks. You have to be honest with yourself about what's coming up so that you can get one step closer to it each day. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be instant. And that's why all of these pieces play a part because it's the long haul, right? It's the marathon. Nipsey, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. I didn't just say that, but I did. But I did. And I do. That marathon continues. It is really life. And we keep going and we keep pursuing things. And we're going to probably fall. We're going to roll our ankle here once in a while. But at the same time, the more dedicated we are, the more that we believe in ourselves, the times that we get back up are really what show us our strength. And so I hope that you are feeling inspired and excited about these areas and things that you want to work on. And even outside of that, though, I want you to really consider at least one thing. And this is because this workshop is truly about the power of play. And I really want you to think about one thing that you can also do that brings you joy. Okay. One thing that lights you up. Play is one of the most effective tools for keeping relationships fresh and exciting, to be able to keep your relieve stress, to improve brain function, to stimulate your mind and creativity, to improve relationships and connection to others, to make you feel young and more energetic. Play is something that is so vastly underrated within our society. That is the importance of why we keep going. It is the joy that we're always reaching for. It's the contentment that we're constantly striving to have more of within our life. And it's okay to be methodical. It's okay to be intentional. It's okay to be able to make it happen. But at the same time, having some joy, having some love and connection and silliness and laughter and dance and music and chilling and vibing is important too. Okay. So think of one thing that you can do once a week. I used to, so during this time where like literally all I did was work for I guess since like 3 years. I don't even can't even tell you what was going on there during that time. But I had just started my career within real estate. I was a new mom. I was working like crazy hours. And then I was also breastfeeding my child who was only like 6 months and only had part-time care because I wanted to be home with her. So I literally would be like arm in, walking into showings, only like doing email while she was sleeping, having her connected to my body as I did chores around the house. Like I'm borderline insane, I'm not gonna lie. And so but I had no time for me. I completely lost sight of what brought me joy. I literally was giving everything within my body to everyone else around me that I had nothing left for myself. And that's why I was like, I gotta have some fun. Because if I don't have fun, I am not a happy person. I don't feel joy. And as much fulfillment I found within my career and within my family, I still needed to just refill my own cup up sometimes. And so that's why I'm bringing this up to you is do things to fill up your own cup. And only you know what that means for you. And so I like to call them fun magnets. What are your fun magnets? Who are the people in your life that just light you up? What are the activities that make you feel joy and at ease and makes you forget about everything else that's going around? Is it dance? Is it music? Is it singing in your car? Is it going to like out in nature, spending time. Like I have to spend 15 minutes out in nature every day. It's a requirement for me. I know this about myself. I usually will go for walks, or I'll just go to a park and lie down, depending on my energy levels. I love to teach yoga. I love to practice yoga. Those are also joy things for me. I love to spend time with my close friends and family. That brings me a lot of joy. I love to sing in my car. It's like one of my favorite things in life. And I will like I am like full on concert dance. Like it is a whole thing. So I love to dance. Also one of my huge things. And just to feel, I love live music for that reason. I love going to live music and doing that. So what are your fun magnets? What are the things for you? And then schedule, if you need to, if you so happen to need to, schedule one fun thing you do every week. Okay, just one. If you want to do more, you can. If that's something you're working on, go ahead, throw more in there. But I would say minimum one. I used to schedule Thursday afternoons for 4 hours, do things simply for fun. It was time blocked into my calendar. That's what I was going through at that point. So do that for yourself because you deserve it. And it creates balance and harmony within every area of your life. And we can constantly be going, going, going. But if we're not giving ourselves any time to be, we're out of whack. We're out of balance. And this is about creating a more balanced approach to your life in every facet. Okay. Thank you for being here. Namaste. I so appreciate you. If you want to work together, if you want to have any questions about coaching or even about my online workshops, I have an incredible online workshop where I break down or I have an online program that breaks down having to create a more balanced life in 3 coaching sessions for $222, which is crazy because a coaching session is usually around $100. So I throw one coaching session in for free, and then you get access to all of the materials and the online workshops to go with it. I've spent a lot of time and energy, years of study to be able to put all of this into one, and I think that you would really enjoy it. So if you're curious, check out my website, coachingwithferrah.com, and I would love to talk to you soon. Let me know if you have any feedback about this workshop. It was a pleasure. Love you. Bye.